Hey guys, welcome to another episode on Raj's Garage. Now, I'm going to warn you, this is going to be a long episode. So I suggest you maybe pause now, grab yourself some popcorn and a drink, because we're talking about 24 cars in my garage. Now, the last garage update episode was in January 24 of this year, and we spoke about some of the projects that I bought last year. We're now 8 months on, and this year it's all about projects, trying to finish those projects, get them over the line to the point where actually one is now sold, 6 are going to go up for sale, and there are some cars that have got some major problems. So it's going to be quick wham bam on some cars. If I spend 2 minutes on each car, that's nearly an hour's worth of content. So some cars I'm just literally gonna walk past and mention it. Other cars I'll take a deeper dive into. I might as well start with the big boy 992 GT3 RS, which wasn't featured in my January walk around video because I didn't have the car. This was purchased in February. I've actually done 2,000 miles in this car. Took it to Goodwood for the Players Classic and had it on track, did 4 or 5 laps. What a car. Everything you read and everything you watch about this car is true and some. It's just in your face. Wherever I take this car, it turns heads. All I've done to this car is add some security. So we've got ThinkWare dash cam, and a few days ago we added a Target Blue Eye 2, which is a emergency vehicle device. So this is an absolutely stupendous car, but I think most of you that are here for the classics. So let's start on the left side and we'll take a walk around. So 2 cars here. That's obviously not a classic. That's actually one of the company fleet cars, Mark 7.5 Golf GTi, which this year we completed a massive bass install in. It's got 2 15-inch power base subs, massive audio install, doorbells, amps, batteries and so on. And obviously the number plate says it all. But this, one of our projects from last year, R129, we bought mid 2023. It's now nearly complete. We've installed the X-Low suspension, hence why X-Low's on the number plate. And it's now sitting on some stepped up AMG 18-inch wheels. This car drives absolutely awesome. It's actually one of Palm's projects, who is my wingman at CAS. There's a few other bits to do, I think audio and so on. But yeah, that's one that is work in progress, but is nearly finished. E92 M3, the car I bought last year. So not much has happened to this car since I've purchased it, bar driving it. But I'm in the process now of having a chat with our friends over at Evolve Automotive, and we're going to have an Venturi air intake and plenum, and we're going to change the suspension as well. I actually have got the suspension. I ordered it a few months ago, KW Variant 3. The wheels need a refurb because I had a little bit of an accident in a car park. So one other thing with the E92 is that we're going to do a massive audio upgrade. So Harman Kardon have introduced a complete range of speakers. Aftermarket speakers, that's the first time they've actually ever bought them out in Europe. Normally you can only buy Harman Kardon direct from BMW and there'll be OEM replacement. So we're going to do a audio upgrade featuring this car with the new Harman Kardon speakers over the next probably couple of months. This is a great car. That V8 lump just sounds absolutely awesome. So there'll be a lot more content hitting the channel on that car soon. Then my E24 635 CSI Shark Nose, finished in Macau blue, on airlift suspension and stepped up Hartiger wheels. This is one of our CAS demo vehicles that we use to promote the business. So it tends to go to shows. Lovely car, drives absolutely brilliant. Not a fast car, more of a GT tourer. This one next up for that is an audio upgrade. Now some of these cars, there are already episodes on the channel. So if you want to dive a little bit deeper, in the description below, there'll be links to cars that are featured. So if you're interested, for example, in the E24 and you want to learn a little bit more, just check the description at the end. Moving on, a couple of hot hatches here. Renault 5 GT Turbo, I've owned this car for 3 years. The plan behind this car and the Escort Series 1 RS Turbo, which I'll show you in a moment, was to always put them in the shop on the mezzanine floor. They've sat about, we haven't done that as of yet. However, we have started. So only recently we've started shooting some content where we're going to change the wheels and the suspension on the Renault 5 and the Escort. And then at some point they will be going into the shop and on the mezzanine floor, hopefully by the end of this year. Now, another iconic hot hatch is the Escort RS Cosworth. I drove this car in January. I took it to Bicester Scramble, drove absolutely brilliantly all the way up there. Then on the way back, it wasn't boosting. There was no boost. And we realized it's a fuel pump issue. So this car, unfortunately, has sat in the garage since January. I haven't really driven it. It needs an MOT, so by the time the video goes out, hopefully the MOT is done. This is an absolute great car, but just haven't used it. Now, let's maybe move over to some Porsches. So if you recall right at the beginning of this episode, I mentioned problems. So we've got a problem with the Escort RS Cosworth and my 964 Turbo, while it's been running exceptionally well. And in fact, this is probably the most used classic car this year. I had an engine rebuild, complete engine rebuild, top and bottom. So I had to do 500 miles after the engine rebuild to get an oil change. And since then, I've done probably another 500-600 miles as well. Drives phenomenally well, puts a smile on my face every time I jump in it. But had an issue. Took it to a car show only at the weekend, and typical classic car problems. Car's running fine, you jump in your car, and then happens. So the glass collapsed. So I've had to order a new runner and some rubbers. But that's the problem with classic cars. Even when you are using them, goes wrong. Actually, this car's hit a milestone moment. The mileage on this car is now 111,111. So this car is used. It is not a garage queen. Great car, love it to bits. So another 964, my Guards Red C2 manual. You would have seen this on the channel if you've been following me throughout the year. It's been to Northway. It's got a 993 engine in the back, so it's a bit of a Frankenstein. It's been running well. I've used it. I've changed the suspension. It's on KW variant 3. I've got the 18-inch rotiform Fuchs on there, which some of you like, some of you don't like. Drop me a comment, let me know what you think. An issue with that as well. Been running really well, and now it's got an idling issue. I think it's the idle control valve, very lumpy. You can hear there, it's a little bit lumpy. There, idle, the revs drop to about 600 and then they shoot back up. And it's just constantly like that. We're not sure what that problem could be, so we need to take a deeper dive and work out what the problem with that is. Over winter, the plan with this car is to get it over to Southern Bodies, my friend Greg. It's going to have a paint. We're going to change the color, so there'll be loads of content on this car. The engine will be taken out by Northway, so will the gearbox. That'll all be refreshed and refurbished. So you're going to see a lot more content on this 964 C2. Sticking with 964s is the Slate Grey 964. I don't want to talk too much about this car because I've covered it on the channel, but this is the car that ignited the passion for the Porsche brand. I've owned it just over 10 years. It wasn't slate grey, this was marine blue. It's now in slate grey, so I'm okay with changing colours on cars, and that's why I don't mind the 964 having a colour change, and being a Frankenstein is actually probably the best thing for it. This is a great car. Nothing really needs to be done to this car. Another air-cooled Porsche, and probably, I would say, the best car in my fleet, although I've not driven it this year because of other projects and so on. 993 Turbo. It's been to a few shows, but it's been trailered to the shows. We had it at Goodwood Festival of Speed. It was on the Maguire stand. It was trailered there and back. I'm really sad that I have not driven this car because it is the best car in my fleet. It's on KW variant 3 suspension, 18-inch rotiform KLUs. But over winter, we're going to do an audio upgrade on this car, and then hopefully next year I'll get to use it a little bit more. And another classic is this Merc 190 2.5 16 valve. It's the non-Cosworth version. The earlier models had the Cosworth head. We've done a lot to this car. We've done a suspension upgrade earlier in this year with Riga Auto. I'm looking for a set of wheels, so I'm thinking either a set of AMGs or some rotiform VCEs. And then we're going to do an audio upgrade. This car will be going up for sale soon, guys. We'll talk about the cars that are going up for sale right at the end of the episode and why they're going up for sale. So yeah, this is a great car. I think we're going to film one more episode, do the audio, do the wheels, and then it'll be up for sale. So the brightest car in my fleet, my speed yellow 997 GT3. Owned this car, I think 6 years. What a great car this is. This has been my go-to car for road trips. So I've done the NC 500 twice in this. I've done the Evo Triangle in Wales. Never given me any problems. Very agile, narrow body, loads of power, a manual box, very much an analog drive. A few upgrades planned, and I've already got all the bits that I need to upgrade. So KW Variant 3 suspension with nose lift, and I've got a set of OZ wheels all sitting in my warehouse. Probably over the next couple of months we'll get those fitted and we'll do a separate episode on this car. But yeah, what a great car this is. Now, the car that's been used the most this year, my daily driver, probably alongside the E92 M3, but this is the one that I've used the most. 996 Turbo S, purchased at the end of 2023. Amazing power delivery. In fact, I would class it as brutal. 450 brake, 6-speed box, 20 years old, so very much an analog drive. What have we done to the car? So we've upgraded the stereo. We've got Kenwood CarPlay stereo, and we've changed the suspension. My go-to suspension brand is KW, so this is sitting on KW Variant 3. And we've changed the wheels to a set of 19-inch BBS LMs, and that's totally transformed the look of the car. This car does drive phenomenally well. We got an audio upgrade planned. I think it's booked into the workshop in about a week's time. So by the time this video goes out, I think we might have even started the audio upgrade. We're going to pull out the Bose speaker system and the Bose subs, and we're going to do a complete refresh with up-to-date tech. So yeah, keep an eye out on the channel, on the main car audio security channel, for the audio upgrade on this car. Now, another car that's been sitting here languishing at the back of the unit, although she does look clean, but there is a layer of dust on her, is this BMW E38 750 IL. L is long wheelbase. This is similar to the car that was featured in the James Bond movie Tomorrow Never Dies. The idea behind this car was to transform it into a show car. So we were going to put it on air, we were going to change the wheels, add audio, but it's had a few issues. So the lighting control module failed. So the lights have a mind of their own. They'll come on when they want to, and then sometimes the indicators won't work. And there's an issue with the ABS pump. So if anyone out there can source me a lighting control module, ABS pump, just drop me a DM direct at Raj Sanger 911. I'm happy with second-hand parts. I don't really want to be paying £1,500 for an ABS pump. And this car will be going up for sale, guys. So we're actually not going to dive into this project, but I'll cover that separately on the main cast channel, the reason why. But there's another car that we're going to do for 2025 instead of this one. So that will all become apparent on the cast channel. Behind me, we've got one of the E30s that are in here. There are 4 E30s in the garage. This is our LTO build, live to offend. A wide body car, has an E36 M3 3-litre lump, 5-speed box, Recaro pole positions. It's really used for Slam Sanctuary as a promotional tool. I think the plan over winter is to change the wrap. So when show season starts in March 2025, this car will have a totally different look. And then we have one of my personal E30 M3. So that's actually a cast company car. This is my E30 M3 in Macau blue, coupe obviously, on airlift suspension with rotiform wheels. Another problem car, was driving exceptionally well last year. Over winter it was parked up, and then I've gone to start it in May, April time. It's got a massive oil leak. So we haven't really driven this car that much. This winter I'll be going to Birds in Ivor, and they will address the oil leak. I'm not sure where that's from. And also we're going to change the wheels. So these rotiform 17-inch LHRs will be coming off. I've got some new BBS centers, and we're gonna change the whole look of this car for 2025 show season. So yeah, this car will be back and we'll address it over winter. The other hot hatch in my fleet, which I've already mentioned, is my Series 1 Escort RS Turbo. B-Reg, this is a custom, so it's got the sunshine roof and the electric windows. This is going to be used in the shop and it's going to go on the mezzanine floor. Another car which has given me problems. So when we were shooting content a few weeks ago to show you the new wheels that are going on the car and suspension upgrade, this thing wouldn't start. Well, it did start in the morning. We got it into the workshop and then it wouldn't start. And it was actually a fuel pipe from the fuel filter, which was just throwing out fuel. So we've done a temporary fix. If any one of you following me, in fact, let me just pop the bonnet, know someone or has these pipes, let me know. So we've done a temporary fix here, as you can see, but we need all these pipes. And the way they've been run is not correct. So if anyone has these pipes, let me know, drop me a DM. So another car that's got problems. That's the problem with classic cars. Sometimes when you don't drive them, you have issues. And sometimes even when you do drive them, like the 964 Turbo, you have issues. But that is the classic car world. So we're now in BMW heaven. 6 cars left, all BMs. E36 M3 Evo. Evo being that it's got the aluminium doors, so they're slightly lighter doors, which means when you go to close them, you have to slam them. This is a 3.2. It's on airlift suspension, stepped up AC Schnitzer wheels. I bought it to promote the business, and we've done that. Airlift suspension and audio upgrades. You got the Blappen retro head unit, and a complete JBL upgrade has been done on this car. Major issue with this car is the roof lining is sagging. Look, it's like Boeing. That is the roof lining. So that's the job for the workshop team to fix. When you jump in this car, the roof lining is literally sitting on the top of your head. This is another car that's going to go up for sale next year. And my E36 M3 track car, probably one of only a handful track cars in the UK that are on air. Drives phenomenally well. I did take it to Players Classic this year to get it out on track, but then I ran out of time. But I did go out in the RS. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this car, guys, because I don't get the time for track days. So this is another one that may be going up for sale next year. Lovely car, manual, pole positions, cage, non-sunroof, wave track diff, AP brakes, carbon intake. So a lot's been done to this car. Then on my left side, you have my E31 840 Ci finished in Asian blue. What a great car this is. 4.4 V8, sounds fantastic and goes very well. Airlift performance with stepped up BBS wheels. Separate episode on the channel, so I won't go into this one. And then on my right side, this is the car that sold. So I mentioned to you right at the beginning of the episode, there's one car that sold. E30 M3 Convertible barn find, which I bought summer of 2023. We've done a light restoration of the car, spent some money on the engine. Maguire's detailed the car in their detailing bay. They had it for like 2 days. Interior's been spruced up. It's not conolized. It's actually been re-dyed by my namesake, Raj Singh, and he's done a fantastic job. I think I'm going to do a separate episode and cover the sales process of this car, but at the same time talk about my other E30 M3 convertible, because I don't know what it is about the E30 world. I had so many silly DMs. I had phone calls in the middle of the night through Auto Trader, people offering me £30,000 when the car was up for £60,000. So I've sold many cars in the past, but I don't know what it is about the E30s. It brings out some proper So we'll talk about this car separately on another episode. But yeah, this car's sold now. It's going to be with me for another couple of weeks. Guys left me a healthy deposit and he's making space in his garage. But yeah, that's done. Then my other E30 M3 convertible, which is in Macau blue. I've had this car for 3 years. Lovely grey leather interior. Not done much to this car this year because I've been waiting to finish that. Now that's done, I can jump into this one. This is going to have a complete repaint. So on camera, she probably looks absolutely brilliant, but the previous owner did a very cheap and poor repaint. There's actually runs in the paint, and I think the prep wasn't great. So this is going to get repainted over winter. The interior has been redone by Raj Singh. And then when it comes back, we're going to do a suspension upgrade and we're going to change the wheels. Finally now, a unicorn, the CSL. So this is my E36 M3 CSL, a car that I've used a little bit this year, probably more this year than I have in previous years. Everyone who knows about CSLs will know that this is an iconic car. You know, the air intake, the noise from that carbon air intake, just the look of the car, the setup, the drive, the interior, the bucket seats, everything. Yes, there are some people that hate the SMG box, and normally when I throw out a post about this, people will comment and say, when are you converting to manual? Guys, get over that. It's a CSL, it came with an SMG box. Gonna leave it with the SMG box. If you want a manual E46, then it's better off buying something like that and then converting it into your own CSL type E46 M3. We did an audio upgrade in this car earlier this year. It's got Audison equipment throughout. Sounds absolutely brilliant. So yeah, this is another car that's featured on the channel. So that's it, guys. I've briefly covered 24 cars. Let's now do a quick overview and we'll get into those cars that are going up for sale in the next few months. So let's do a quick summary. Now, there are 2 cars still in the shop on the mezzanine floor, which are also mine. They're part of the personal collection. The Mark II Golf GTi in red, and also the graphite grey Pug 19 GTi, which actually has an MI16 engine in there. Those 2 cars will be coming down off the mezzanine floor before the end of the year, and the Renault 5 GT Turbo and the Series 1 RS Turbo will be going up on the mezzanine floor. When the Pug does come down, it needs a light recommissioning, and that will be going up for sale. So that's one of the 6 cars that will be going up for sale. The other cars, okay, so the other 5 cars that will be going up for sale are the Mercedes 190e 2.5 16 valve. That probably be ready for sale in October, so hit me up if you're interested in that. Then we've got the E38, which I showed you right at the back. Need to fix a couple of bits and address those problems, and that's going up for sale. The E46 track car, the M3 track car, again, that will be going up for sale in 2025. Just haven't used it and I don't think I will. So I might return it back to OEM because it's got red leather interior and I've kept everything as new. The E36 M3 in the corner as well, the individual spec M3, that's going to go up for sale in 2025. So if you're interested, drop me a DM. And then finally, my 996 Turbo S, which has been my daily for the last 12 months. Once we've done the audio upgrade over the next couple of months, at some point in 2025, that car's going to go up for sale. That's a pretty rare car. I think they only made 60 right-hand drive 996 Turbo S's. Half of them, I believe, are convertibles, and quite a few of them are tips as well. So it's very rare to find a manual black on black 996 Turbo S. So yes, those are the cars that will be going up for sale. I will replace them with other cars at some point. So even though the numbers in my fleet will reduce, there's going to be new cars hitting the channel for 2025. This year has been about resolving problems and finishing projects, and I think I've done that quite well. Some of you also ask about some of the cars which I don't talk about. Well, that's because they're part of the company fleet and we use them for demo purposes. They normally sit in the car park, so when customers want to come in and have a demo, we can offer them that service. So that's the GR Yaris, the Audi RS4 Avant, and also the BMW G80 M3. So that's it, guys. Garage tour done. 24 cars, a couple of which are not my personal cars, but they're the company cars. They're in the garage, I've covered them. Which is your favorite car in the garage? Obviously there's only one new car. The rest I would say are all classics to a degree. You're probably thinking which one is my favorite. Now I would say the 993 Turbo, but I actually haven't driven it this year, so I can't class it as my favorite. So I'm going to base it on which car's been used and which car's been enjoyed the most, and I'm going to say it's actually the 964 Turbo, even though it's a little bit broken at the moment because of that passenger side window that's collapsed. This car is absolutely fantastic, and it's such an iconic car because the moment you see it, you automatically think of Bad Boys, although it's a 3.3 turbo, not a 3.6 turbo. But yeah, this is, for me, the car of the year in my fleet. Next year, things will change. I'll probably end up saying it's the 993 Turbo, unless I buy something different, which then I'll let you guys know. So yeah, that's it. My garage tour done. Drop a comment. Let me know which one you like. And obviously, throughout this video, I've mentioned that some cars are going up for sale. If you're interested in any of those, drop me a DM and I'll respond. But obviously I can give you a rough idea of price, and I'll let you know when that car is potentially going up for sale. And the nearer that time, if you're interested, I'll keep those DM messages and I'll tag you or I'll reach out to you. And if anyone can help me on sourcing some of the parts like the E38 and so on, and for the Series 1 RS Turbo, please drop me a DM or drop a comment below. Make sure you smash the like button. There's a lot more content that we've filmed behind the scenes that'll be hitting my own personal YouTube channel, Raj's Garage. I'm trying to get the channel to grow. This channel is all about me and my cars, where the Cast TV channel is a little bit more business related. So if you're into classic cars or supercars and you're into modifying cars, you should be a subscriber of this channel. So guys, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button at the same time. I'll see you again at some point on Raj's Garage. Thanks for watching.